Jokic, triple doubles. Jordan Poole continues his early season struggles. And James Harden LA, what's going to become of that? I'm James Sires, and you're watching Sweet Sports. Let's get right into this NBA recap from the 6th of November. First game we're into is the 76ers versus the Wizards. Now, Joel Embiid put up a very efficient 48 points on 68% shooting, going 17 to 25, along with 11 rebounds, 6 assists, as he led the 76ers to now their early season 5-1 record. Continuing his tear from his MVP season a year ago, Joel Embiid seems to be on a mission this year. In years past, we've always been really hard on him for not making it out of second round, which is there's some truth to that. But he looks like he really means a statement this year. But what's really nice is after the trade drama with James Harden all kind of went the way it did, someone really needed to step up. And thankfully, Tyrese Maxey this year has really stepped it up for the 76ers. This year, Embiid is playing exactly as he was expected to be playing. But he's scoring a solid 29.5 points per game. But what's really nice is Tyrese Maxey is up to 22 points and 11 assists, right? This last game. Maxey increases scoring from 20 points per game. Last year, he's averaging 26 this year. Now, I know the season's early, but it is good to see young player in Tyrese Maxey in fourth season finally starting to step up into that number 2 option there with the 76ers. They have a solid team, solid record this year. Now, unfortunately, with all James Harden drama, it looked like he was maybe under the shadow of that. James Harden, them and Embiid not playing great in the playoffs last year. You really don't see Maxey's full potential. Maybe this year, this is the year that we finally get to see Tyrese Maxey pop from where he was before into the next level, where he can be a legitimate number 2 on a championship team. Now, on the other side, though, is one of the biggest stories, especially from Washington, as they dropped to 1-5 on the year. It's really early, but it seems like this whole Jordan Poole experiment, it's not going very well. It doesn't seem like it's going to get done, right? It's easy to look good, as Jordan Poole did in Golden State when he had Steph Curry. And, Steph took all the attention, all the defensive focus on him and Clay. Yeah, Jordan was the number 2 scoring option on that championship team in 2019, but he doesn't look like it anymore. Kyle Kuzma was leading the scorer for Washington on this game, and he's averaging 23 a game. How can you be the answer to the Wizards' problem? Trade away assets for you. They wanted to bring you in, right? And all you can give them is 17 a game. 17 a game. That's just insane, right? I'm sorry to be a Wizard if you're a Wizards fan, but I don't think Poole he's gonna be the long-term answer for you because, maybe he gets better. Maybe he just needs time. It's a new system. That could all be the case. I'm not one to tell people that Jordan Poole ain't the guy, but it's easy to look good when you have Steph around you, and it's hard to look good when it's all on your shoulders and you're not even the leading scorer for your team. So there's something in that. Sorry, Wizards fans, you dropped to 1-5 of the year. Not very good this year. But positive side, Sixers, this might be your year. And going strong, up there at the top of the bunch. Right. Now let's move on to game number 2. Dallas at Orlando. Right. Luka Magic. What can you say about him? He's amazing. Right. He continued his tear, right, as he scored, 29 points against Orlando. Right. Orlando was a really tight game at first for a long time. Luka scored 12 points in the fourth quarter alone as they beat the Magic 117 to 102. Kyrie and Tim Hardaway Jr. each had 21 points, both of them to add to the total. But of course, they're overshadowed by Luka in that offense. It seems like he's single-handedly willing his team to victory, but I wouldn't say that. Kyrie and Tim Hardaway, as shown here, each put in solid numbers, but they're just so overwhelmed by just the insanity that is Luka Doncic. Now, Paulo Banchero, reigning Rookie of the Year, right? Good night, 22 points, but the Magic just couldn't buy the bucket in the second half. Right? They led the Mavericks 66-53 at halftime. And the Mavericks just chipped away at that and just chipped away, right? The biggest story of this game was Luka Doncic went out in the third quarter. Apparent injury, possibly, and concussion. Hit the leg of an opponent player on the Magic. Went down in the third. Missed 7 minutes, give or take, in the third quarter. Thankfully, he played the entirety of the fourth, and the concussion protocol came up negative. Right? Mavs continue to be one of the best offenses in the NBA, with Luka, which is no surprise, as the Mavericks improved to. Let's see, what is it off the top of my head? Mavericks improved to, what's the record? 6-1. 6-1. Mavericks, one of the top teams in the NBA. Right. Next game we're gonna go on to, let's recap. It'll be Warriors and the Pistons. Warriors and the Pistons, right? Steph Curry continues to be who he is, right? The Warriors win 120-109 to victory of the Pistons. He led all scorers in this game with 34 points and 4 assists. CP3 maybe will work out. We'll see. Season's still early, but he is finally putting in a solid game. He shot 67% for 17 points this game after he was shooting an abysmal 32% from the field. It was absolutely terrible. Finally got one going. Went 6 for 9 and then 2 for 6. 2 for 3 from 3. So it's good to see CP3 really getting out there and putting some points. I mean, that's why they brought him in. Veteran leadership, kind of get out there. But, he's not the same Chris Paul as we saw in LA, or same Chris Paul that was even in Phoenix his last year there when they went to the championship in 21. But, he's still moving in the right direction. He's still a solid player, and it looks like he's finally coming out of that slump. On the bright side, right, from Detroit, I know you lost, right? Pistons dropped to 2-6 in the year, but on the bright side is the Pistons' young core is slowly improving, right? And you can see it. Pistons are gonna be a real team and a real good team, and up there with those playoff teams in the next couple of years. Cade Cunningham and Killian Hayes each had 21 points. Detroit battled late and actually had a 93-88 lead with 9:40 left in the game. But as we all know, Steph is inevitable. He's gonna get his shots up, right? As he scored 9 points in the final 6 minutes, iced the game. Right, the Warriors improved to 6-2, and the Pistons dropped to 2-6. Don't hang your head too much. It's a learning season, and it's a growing season, right, for the Pistons. But they are getting better. You can see it every day. Every time you can watch them play. Cade Cunningham, Killian Hayes, solid players, and watch them do their thing. Now, speaking of young teams that, unfortunately don't live up to expectations, right? We're gonna move on to Wemby Mania and my Spurs. Perennial All-Star Tyrese Halliburton, 23 points and 8 assists as the Pacers just dominated Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs as they won 152-111. Right, this ties the team's record for the most points they've ever scored in a game at 152 points, and at the same time just so happened to coincide with Rick Carlisle's 900 career victory. 6 Pacer players were in double figures, with Obi Toppin and Buddy Hield each scoring 19 apiece. The other side, Victor Wembanyama, probably had the worst game of his career. Now, his career's only, what do we got? 6 games in, or 7 games in. So, yes, bad game, but all rookies going to have bad games. I love Victor. I think he's the future of the NBA and the future of the Spurs. But he had a bad game. Shot 3 for 12. Well, 3 for 12. Wow. 3 for 12 on the game. Finished with 13 points, 10 rebounds. I think the biggest takeaway from this game, outside, Buddy Hield, still solid 3-point shooter. And you get that guy off the bench, he will give you immediate points. And Tyrese Halliburton is still that guy. He is still all-star caliber player, and he's out there still playing like it. But it's the fact that the Spurs need Devin Vassell. It's bad. Right? This team had little to no energy on offense. It wasn't clicking. Right? That outside shooting from Vassell is so useful. Right? Unfortunately, he's still indeterminate. with the groin injury he received in the second game against the Phoenix Suns. But you could really tell the difference when you watch these two teams play, right? You can see that the energy from Indiana was really high, and then the energy from San Antonio was not there. I mean, it's not the same team if you watch them when they played Phoenix. So we all loved that game. We all saw Victor's coming out party. We all said the whole thing about Victor scoring 38 points. But, I mean, Devin Vassell scored 20 in that game as well and went out at halftime with a groin injury. And it's not been great, right? He missed the last game and then missed this one of the doubleheader. So, missed the Raptors, missed him against the Raptors, had a 20-point lead, couldn't ice it, again a problem. And then again this game, no Devin Vassell, no steady offense. It just wasn't it. So, hopefully they can return soon, and Spurs return to form that we saw against Phoenix, because that is the Spurs we all want to watch, right? Another thing is Pacers shot 20 for 38 from deep, while San Antonio sunk a measly 8 for 26. Without Devin Vassell, just ain't there. Now, speaking of really high-scoring guards and make an impact on their team, we'll move on to the Clippers at the Knicks. Big names in this game. RJ Barrett returning from injury. Really good to see. And also, this is the first time we get to see James Harden compete with the Clippers. James Harden, right, after all the drama that developed in Philadelphia and him, quote-unquote, giving out on the Sixers, he came out here and really showed kind of how he was doing, but wasn't really great. Julius Randle and RJ Barrett got the win, and they spoiled James Harden's debut with Julius Randle scoring 27 and Barrett with 26 as the Knicks win 111-97. Now, James Harden did have a decent 17 points and 6 assists in his first game from all the drama and him sitting out preseason and sitting out games and I don't want to be on the Sixers anymore and him demanding a trade and got out of there. Now he's where he supposedly wants to be. We said that same thing with Philadelphia. Right? If you remember, but James Harden's out of Philadelphia. He's in LA, put up 17 and 6. RJ Barrett obviously returned from injury, which is good to see. He immediately made an impact as he hit a big three-pointer, iced the game with 2 minutes left on the clock, put this game away and win it for the Knicks. Kawhi Leonard, right, still that guy. Right? As long as he's healthy, we all know Kawhi Leonard, still one of the best players in the NBA when he's healthy. And Kawhi led the Clippers in scoring with 18. As Harden and Westbrook both put up 17 apiece each. Biggest story is can James Harden develop the chemistry needed to develop a championship contender? Now, we all know the talent's there. Right? You have Russell Westbrook, still explosive, not as explosive, still gave you 17, 15 a game, 10 assists. He's that guy. You got Paul George, and you got Kawhi Leonard, still phenomenal basketball players, some of the best in the NBA still. And then now you got James Harden to the mix. But if they don't have the chemistry there, and they don't have the right mixing, right? You can look at teams like, Milwaukee, or look at teams like Denver, right? Those are teams that don't have a lot of superstars, right? They got one solid guy, but they're not loaded with superstars. But they developed and they built the necessary chemistry in order to win the game. And can the Clippers do that? We don't know. Remains to be unseen. A lot of times dropping an all-star caliber player into a team doesn't immediately make them a contender. I mean, we look at the same thing that happened with Phoenix. Phoenix, right, last year, KD coming and join Devin Booker on the Suns, and it just did not work out the way we were all expecting it to. Now, hopefully this year it is better, right? Give them time to play. They kind of develop the work around each other and see how it goes. Hopefully it gets better, but, that remains to be unseen, right? We don't know what's going to happen. But will they have the necessary time to get to know each other's play style and how they go? I mean, James Harden, high IQ basketball player. You got Kawhi Leonard, PG, Westbrook, right? All these are smart basketball players, veterans, been around for a long time. Now, you would expect them to be able to figure out how it's going to play. But is James Harden satisfied with being the third option? I don't know. Right? That's the reason he wanted out of OKC. He was a third option behind KD and behind Russ, right? And then he wasn't the guy in Philly, so he opted out of there. Now, I don't know if James Harden could really be satisfied being a third guy, but if he is, watch out for the Clippers, right? Because that is a loaded team, a lot of talent, a A lot of veterans. They can get it done, right? But we'll see how it goes. Now, next game we can get into, Lakers at the Heat. Probably the most exciting game of the night. Right? Miami was able to hold off old man James as the Lakers as they win 108 to 107. Right? Bam Adebayo had a 22-point triple-double with 20 boards, 10 assists. Jimmy Butler, still that guy, put up 28 points as well. But that was it, right? They tried to weather the storm. They had the lead late, and they were just trying to hold on for dear life and weather the storm. As old man LeBron was leading one of those comebacks, right? Oldest man in the NBA. Think about that. Oldest player in the NBA put up 30 points as he tried to will the Lakers to victory. Right? That should be a shock to you. Oldest player in his 21st season, still putting up 30 a night. But what isn't a surprise is that Anthony Davis, as we all know, left the game with an injury in the third quarter again. Right? He missed the final 14 minutes of regulation with a left hip spasm. You hate to be that guy, but the stereotype of Anthony Davis not being available, right? It's kind of true. Now, we were all hoping this would finally be the year. We were told a message in the preseason, and Anthony Davis put in the work. He's working harder. He's been in better shape anytime since he's been in LA, and we all know how that's going to end up. Anthony Davis is going to get hurt. He's going to sit out games, and come playoffs, we're going to enamored with Anthony Davis again. He's going to get hurt, and this whole cycle is going to continue. Right? One of the biggest plays of the night came with a minute 57 left in the game, as Kyle Lowry took this charge from LeBron James. Now, I'm not Kyle Lowry, and I would not want to take that charge from LeBron James coming at him, right? Yeah, I mean, good for him, right? There's like a 9-inch difference in size and height, and he's 60 pounds lighter, right? But I mean, when they say sacrifice your body for the team, Kyle Lowry means it, right? Because I would not want to be on the other end of LeBron James coming at you. Right. The Lakers did have an opportunity to win the game. 5 seconds left in the game, and it was a missed shot. Right. So they fall to 0-4 on the road this season, and it's the same thing with the Lakers. It's going to be true all season. It has been since AD has come to the Lakers. The Lakers can only go as far as Anthony Davis can take them. LeBron James is still going to be solid, and he's still going to be winning games still. But he's not Cleveland. He's not Miami anymore. Right? He's not going to single-handedly will you to a championship. It's going to take you as far as Anthony Davis can take you. Let's be honest here. 9 points, 9 rebounds, they ain't going to cut it. Right? If you're going 9-9, you ain't winning a championship this season. So it's all on Anthony Davis and whether or not he can get it. Last game we're going to talk about is going to be the Nuggets versus the Pelicans. Probably I think Harden was probably the biggest story of the night. But it is a good thing. Nikola Jokic, 108th triple-double. Right? As he passes LeBron James, 4th all-time. Right? There was a tie between him, LeBron, and Jason Kidd at 107 triple-doubles. Now he passed LeBron, 108 triple-doubles. Right? 4th all-time. As he went just a mind-boggling. This is an insane number. 35, 14, and 12. Just an insane night. Right? Nuggets cruise and beat the Pelicans 134 to 116. Denver, rookie, had a high scoring night with 21 points. And I forgot the name of this rookie. Let me look over it real quick for y'all. I don't want him to not get his credit. Because, you have a career night. Yeah, we should talk about it. Career night. He put up 22 points. Correction. 21 points. This comes as Jamal Murray is going to miss several games with the right hamstring injury. We don't know how long it's going to be, right? Coach of the Nuggets said it's going to be not just 1 or 2 games, it's going to be several game injuries. So having him come off the bench with 21 points, really stepping up for his team. I mean, he scored 20 points the first 5 games of the season, basically playing in garbage time. And to watch him come out here, really good to see. I like the rookies. Watch them improve. Jamal Murray is going to miss several games, though, but it seems like as long as Nikola Jokic is still rolling, still being arguably the best player in basketball, it's either him or Giannis, right? As long as he keeps dominating, it doesn't seem like much other teams can do, right? Zion had a respectable game, put up 20 and 10 on 45%. Right? Again, wasn't enough. You can't really blame the Pels because not many teams can beat Jokic when he's playing like this. Granted, missing CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum doesn't help as he adds some much needed scoring to the team. He puts up points there. CJ McCollum with that injury still, he's in and out. Not going to see him. Right? Nuggets moved to 7-1 this year as the Pelicans drop to 4-3 on the season. Let's see. And we get to the rankings right now. Best records in the NBA: Boston at 5-1. You got Philly at 5-1, Milwaukee 4-2. In the East, over in the West, you got Denver at 6-1, Dallas at 6-1, and Golden State at 6-2. Dallas, Denver, real deal, right? Jokic and Luka leading their teams, and Jason Tatum and Embiid leading the 76ers. Right? That's all I got for today. That concludes today's recap on the 6th of November. All right, I'll see you next time. I'm James Sayers, and you're watching Sweet Sports.